It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. 'Cause America's gonna go into a civil war, and I haven't decided what side I'm gonna be if it's a race war, because minorities cook so much better, but white people like shit like Patagonia for the bad weather, and I don't know if stocks will be available in the future, so I might want to be with white people, or minorities were better at building stuff. 15 years of construction experience. Speaking from experience. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wednesday. World War III Wednesday. Round 1, fight. If you've been living under a rock, good for you. Good for you for staying out of this shit. But it is pretty wacky, insane what is happening in the Capitol right now. There are protesters. They have overtaken the Capitol. They have overtaken the Capitol. There is a picture of some dude just sitting in the chair, living out his greatest fantasy. And that's the thing that's sad with this stuff. If you've been living under a rock, again, good for you. But Trump was saying that, because they're going to certify Biden, the election results today. Trump was like, nah, I'm throwing my own protest with the 1% of those diehard Trump supporters. And they stormed the Capitol and they overtook that shit. I don't know. Listen, I'm just looking at pictures and headlines, reading some articles. I don't know how overtaken it is. If it really is some militia style shit. It didn't seem like there was weapons from the pictures I was looking at. I don't know if it has gotten violent. I know that Trump was saying stay peaceful and everything, but that's pretty fucking insane that a sitting president that is on his way out refuses to accept all the recounts and everything that everyone has told him. They've done the due diligence of recounts. They didn't really find anything. It doesn't seem like Trump won. And what's worse about that is it's so disgusting the way that this is all playing out. My man D, let it go, playa. Let it go. Not only that, it's just terrible. It's terrible from so many perspectives. Literally going out kicking and screaming. And not only that, this could end very badly, I feel. Very badly. Where we have innocent people dying. And listen, I consider people who have been brainwashed by a movement innocent. I don't know about innocent. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. But whenever people think that they're doing the right thing, but it's actually the wrong thing in the bigger picture, they're dumb. But I almost am like, you think you're doing the right thing. You're not trying to be malicious or evil. And if you are, go fuck yourself. But this shit is insanity. It's insane that this is actually happening, that the Capitol was overtaken, that they actually were able to break through the barricades and storm it, if you will. There's a dude dressed like a goddamn woodland creature out there with a weird wolf fur skin coat and shit. Like, they think this is a joke. They think that they're actually like militiamen for the democracy of America. That's what's fucking dangerous about it, is there's a lot of people doing dangerous shit this whole past year thinking that they were on the right side of history. Just not realizing. You get so close to the forest, you can't see the trees. Bars. I think that's what's happening. There's some of these people, dude, there's Confederate flags in there and shit. I'm just like, what are you doing? This is so stupid. It's so stupid. And I think it's going to end badly. I don't get why people... I think what happens, and we can wrap all this, any kind of protesting that's happened in the past year that falls under this category of just being misinformed on what reality is. I think a lot of people have nothing going on in their life, so they cling on to something, some kind of cause that's bigger than them, that they're on this holy mission, that their life turned out fucking terrible because of our great democracy, because of the injustices of the world. So they cling on to them rather than blaming themselves. They're able to point a finger and be like, that's who did it. And we're going to take back our country. You know? It's so fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. What a weird time. It's like, I think people don't realize how their actions can really affect the world. Like, we could have, America can go away. And I'm not a doom and gloomer. But that's on the table. Societies crumble throughout history all the time. And how the biggest ones crumble? From within. From within. Especially a social experiment like America, the land of the free. We're so wild with our belief systems that, yeah, there's going to be some weird shit like this. But if another country wanted to attack us, this is a great way to do it. Just do something, infiltrate, get everybody against each other, and then just be like, oh, now it's on autopilot. Put that shit in motion, let them fight amongst themselves. Then when they're all fucked up and they're so distracted with themselves, we swoop in. We swoop in, and in 2 years, we're speaking Russian or Chinese. I can tell jokes. I'll be a jester. They'll let me stick around. I don't give a shit. But it's crazy, man. This is so weird what's happening right now. I don't even know. Is there arrests being made right now? I feel like I'm doing breaking news. The Capitol has been stormed. I'm sure so many people. And that's the thing that I always hate, is when you start seeing everybody jumps on this. This is great for the news. It's great for the news. They love stirring this up. This is fuel for both people. Trump supporters, many wearing red MAGA hat but no face mask. They got to put that little jab in there. Gathered at the ellipse where the president addressed the midday Wednesday. The crowd faced the White House, and a stage was flanked by two big Save America march signs swayed to the beat of the Village People song Macho Man and Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. What? Billie Jean? What is Billie Jean? Why did they go with that? She was more than a beauty queen from a movie scene. I don't get that. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She says that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. What is the deeper meaning behind using this song in particular? Billie Jean. My God, I can't even figure that out. Macho Man. I understand Macho Man. That's some weird old 80s shit. You know Trump picked that playlist. That's like what he procreates with. He plays Macho Man in the background. He comes out in his weird old fat tidy whities, eating just nacho cheese from a tub while that song plays. What's her name? Ivanka? Is it Ivanka? No, that's the daughter, right? Why can't I even think of the first lady? Dude, my brain is so tired from all this shit. Melania. That's what it is. Melania. She just gives that 1,000-mile stare every time. She's a pretty lady. Pretty lady. Good for her. I bet she never wanted this gig. She just wanted to be a gold digger, right? Like, she just wanted to marry someone successful. I don't think she wanted all this. She feels like she just got caught in the middle. But Billie Jean, that is a weird one. People who get pumped up to Macho Man, they need a lot of nacho cheese in the tubs from Costco. You know, you get that big one for like if you're working at a kid's t-ball game, you guys are working the snack booth. You get that big tub of nacho cheese. Yeah, you just eat that shit whole, just fist in. Yeah, that's crazy. This is like a scene from a movie. 2021 has gotten... You know what I think it was? I think everybody was like, oh, thank God 2021 or 2020 is over. And 2021 was like, hold my beer. 2021 was like the big brother just back there shadow boxing. It was like fucking Clubber Lang in the back, just ready to come out. You want to see how a real man feels? That's what 2021 was saying to us. It's ready to fuck us up. Crazy shit, people. What a weird time. Listen. Pandemic burnout is a real fucking thing. I normally don't like these terms because they're so cliche. Like when people call pan-pression and shit, like, oh, pandemic depression. Like they just coin a phrase for it. And it makes it so cliche and dumb. But there really is a burnout. I feel it 100%. I haven't gotten to do the thing that gives me joy the most, stand-up, jiu-jitsu, all these things. I'm a broken record and I talk about this stuff. It's since March, you know? You get a point, like a certain point, you're just like, fuck, it's diet life after a certain point. But I feel like we're watching the play out of the movie Battle Royale right now, where people are just like, the country is actually in ruins. But I think a lot of it is people are just burnt out. Listen, I'm going to give you guys a real thing that I do. I've had a few people reach out to me lately. And I want to do this on the podcast, so if you can do this. This is for you right now. If you're in a place where you can close your eyes for a second, we're going to do something that I do to de-stress. We're going to do it together. Fuck it. We're going to do it together. So get to a quiet place. You can pause this if you want. Get to a room. You're quiet. Go to the bathroom. Don't get weird. Take a moment. Go and pause it now. All right, welcome back to Evan's meditation shit. This is what I do. I've had people reach out about anxiety and stress because I've talked about it openly, about having it in the past and dealing with it. And I got a couple tricks. This is one of my favorite things to do when I'm getting stressed out, and I do it a lot. You get a little overwhelmed, feeling a lot of tension, you just do this. I want you to close your eyes. Go and close your eyes for me now. I want you to imagine that tension, that stress in your body as a certain color. You can pick it. It doesn't have to be a negative color. Right now, I'm picturing green, money, bars. Okay? Made you giggle. Now, I want you to picture that. That's all the tension and stress. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And when you start taking that deep breath in, I want you to imagine that ball. Everything's coming into that ball, not coming in a gross way. Relax. Okay? Grow up, Count Chocula. Imagine all that stress and tension is forming a ball somewhere around your nose area. All right, so you take a deep breath in. It's all in a ball, and then breathe it out through your mouth. All that tension just going out. And imagine your body relaxing the whole time that's going out. Another breath in. I want you to smile and relax your body when it goes out. Bars. Relaxed, stress-free bars, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll do that 5 or 6 times, you know. People ask me for my technique. That's it, baby. That's it. That's freebie. That's on the house. That's not even a sponsored ad by Calm app, okay? I haven't sold out yet. Just wait till I start sneaking ads in here. But that's something that I didn't really expect. I don't really have any expectations for this podcast. But that's something I did not necessarily expect, was people reaching out when I talk about certain things that affected me, and then asking me for certain things that I've done and that they're going through it, or that it helped them with something they were dealing with. And that's one of the huge things. That's why I don't mind being vulnerable on the podcast and saying certain things I dealt with, because it might help someone. And I really think breathing steps like that can really help. And I don't think I got that anywhere. I think I just kind of did it one day and just, obviously, visualizing stuff is huge, and meditation is huge, and shit. That's one of those things that when I was young, I had no idea about meditating, actively trying to get rid of stress, even taking moments to change the way things are going. I think that's huge this past year. Everybody has had something taken away from them, Everybody has extra stress. Everybody is dealing with more shit. And I think it's important that, you can't just keep going and pretending like you're not stressed out. You can't keep going and pretending like you're not being affected, or you just can't maintain. Eventually, the check engine light is going to come on and you're going to have to deal with it. So I think it's good as you're going to avoid that big breakdown or burnout. You got to do small maintenance. And I think every day, just a 5 breaths in, just do something. Start stretching. You have to actively combat that negative energy or that shit. You have to be able to push against it. And I think it's huge. Self-care, baby. That's what 2021's all about, baby. Self-care and self-love. Set boundaries and deal with what you got to deal with. And listen, if no one's giving you permission to do this, I give you permission to always do what's best for you first, okay? Self-care and self-love. You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of someone else, That's something I've learned over a lifetime of never feeling like I could put my own feelings and what I was dealing with first. I always had to take care of people and do certain things. But then you hit a burnout point. You can't be that person for other people unless you're that person for yourself. Bars, okay? So I think it's huge in 2021. Less bullshit, less comparing yourself on Instagram or whatever the fuck you do, and focus on yourself. Start putting your chips, investing your time in shit that's going to give you happiness, give you focus, give you fulfillment. What the fuck do you like to do? What do you enjoy doing? What makes you happy? Do that shit, and I promise you, there's a way that it's going to be able to take care of you in your life. You want to make wooden bowls? Fucking, there's a niche for it. There's a market. Go on Etsy. Start selling that shit. Okay? You just want a drum? Fucking find a fucking drum. Kill a cat. String its skin over something and play that shit like a fiddle, baby. Okay? Go do it. That's what 2021's all about. Okay? And you got to do that. You got to set goals for the year. Don't just let last year thump into this year. Okay? Change some shit up. Check the diagnostics on your system. Your body's a computer. What are we dealing with? Okay, well, let's flip that on it. Supercharge that shit. Change the tires. Get them rotated. Buy a whole new fucking car. I don't know. Talk to Elon Musk. Get your brain taken out and put in a better body. Huh? Welcome to the future, bitch. We're all going to Mars. But life is short. Life is short, ladies and gentlemen. And that's something that I think about a lot. Is whenever I start getting a little stressed out, little overwhelmed, I put everything back in perspective. We're only here on this earth for a small amount of time. And if you think about it, a lot of the shit that you probably worry about on a regular basis, none of it fucking matters in the big picture. A lot of these fake arguments you have, a lot of these worried slights, things that happen, you just gotta let them go. They're not big enough. They're just gonna only bring you down. You want to spend your time doing things that give you fulfillment and happiness and help others. Listen, helping other people is probably one of the most satisfying things you can do, okay? And you got to help people that appreciate that you're helping them, not taking advantage of you or thinking that they're owed your help, okay? Because those are draining people. Those will put you off to helping people. But it feels so good to help people, Feels good for you, feels good for them. It gives them a perspective that maybe the earth isn't terrible. The earth, like we're aliens or some shit. We probably are. That's going to be the twist of 2021. We're going to be waiting for the aliens to land, and all of a sudden Elon Musk is going to look at you. You're like, where are they, Elon? And he's going to be like, you're right here. And then all of a sudden we're going to have a sixth sense moment of like, Dun, 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 and then Requiem for a Dream soundtrack starts playing. Dun, 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 dun. Quentin Tarantino starts directing shit. And then we realize we were the aliens the whole time. You start pulling back like through time, like you start getting all the knowledge, like in the butterfly effect, how you start getting memories and you like start seizing, you start having a bloody nose, and then all of a sudden it's going back in time. That's reverse for you if you're just listening. I don't know why watching would make a difference. I just looked like I had a stroke. Reversing in time, going all the way back to when the dinosaurs were there and the asteroid was about to hit, and then it pulls back from the POV of what you normally think it looked like when the asteroids hit, like a side profile, I bet, is your kind of mental thing. You kind of picture it probably like a movie theater side view of it all happening, kind of a wide shot. But no, this time it flips to perspective from the dinosaurs, and they look up, and they're looking at the sky, and behind the asteroid, it's us with a giant spaceship with like a slingshot on it, and we shot the asteroid and attacked the dinosaurs. We just forgot. Some shit went wrong with the Mayans, blah, blah, blah. We lost our history book, and now we just think we evolved here. We think we came from monkeys because they kind of look like us. But we really are just aliens, and we took over this planet. That's why this planet has slowly been trying to kill us, because we're just draining all its resources. Coronavirus is probably our reckoning. It's like, okay, these people got to go. I'm going to sacrifice this little pangolin. This is Mother Earth's inner monologue. I'm going to sacrifice a little pangolin. I'm going to get this bat. I'm going to get this pangolin. I'm going to have him play spin the bottle. Now we got COVID-19. Bars. Put it in the people. Starting a wet market. Bars. It'll spread. And Mother Earth is like, you guys have just been fucking shit up since you've been here. And that's what's going to happen. It makes sense. Like, in reality, I know I just gave you the craziest situation, but I just had to run with it, baby. Okay? Sometimes you just gotta just paint the picture. But COVID-19 is a result of doing shit out of order, of breaking like the code that we have with Earth. The Indians had it right, okay? The Indians had it right. Obviously, listen, I know the Comanches? I don't know if it was Comanches. I know I'm saying that word wrong. Apaches? Maybe that's what it is. Fucked up a lot of people. Not the greatest people. They killed a lot of bison. They slaughtered them. Really didn't take good care of the bison. People always talk about Indians and how spiritual and living off the land and its resources. They fucked up some buffalo. Okay? Tatanka. They took that shit out. They'd run them off cliffs and shit and just leave their carcasses. So much waste. So much waste. No Indian ever can look me in the face and give me shit if I ever litter. I don't litter. Not a litter bug. But I'm going to be like, oh, really? One word. Tatanka. Tatanka. And the Indian's going to be like, all right, you got me. But they got it right in the sense of everything else, that you got to live off the land and you got to be in balance with the land. And I feel like we've gone too far. Like I want to, like COVID-19, coronavirus, the fact that the way that it jumped, if you don't know, I had a pangolin expert on here, and shout out to Lauren, and broke it down of how coronavirus jumped to mankind, if you will, earthlings, was through a pangolin. You know, it came from a bat. The bat couldn't infect us, but the bat could infect a pangolin. The pangolin could infect us, and because it has the receptors too. So it was a bridge gap. It was a bridge animal in the coronavirus chain. And the only way those animals could ever exist together would be in an unnatural situation, as in a wet market, you know? But it could also be that they were tinkering around with shit, biological warfare, in a lab in Wuhan. That's another theory. It could actually have just been that, you know, these animals coexisted in an unnatural way in a wet market in a cage, or Wuhan lab, and they were using it to play God and try to come up with, biological warfare, which is, of course, the next wars aren't going to really be fought, I don't think, with planes and bullets and all that shit. I think it's going to be information. Dude, manipulating information, making a society fall, you just got to put that shit on tilt a little bit. Look what's happening to America with how quickly people can become divided and stirred up. You ever seen that video of the crow who's keeps nipping at these two cats to get them to fight? Just keeps irritating them enough to get them closer and closer, and then they actually start fighting. The crow's like, wah, wah, loves that shit. That's what I feel like people can do with misinformation. Countries don't have to attack the way that they had to before, actually invade. They can just destroy a society from within, starve them out, It's not a terrible idea in the sense of war. But I think when you become so imbalanced in a society of everything becoming so easy, we start to devolve. Technology, amazing and everything, but if you look at the way some of us live our lives, I'm guilty of it too. Just going on YouTube binges and just you being not so reliant on yourself for food, shelter, like my power went out on Christmas for like a day and a half. It was Lord of the Flies here within the first 12 hours. I was starting to get low on phone chargers. I'm like, ah! I started whittling a stick to hunt a squirrel that lives in the tree outside. But it's like we've become so detached from where we get our food, the way our healthcare is set up, the way our economy is set up. I think we've gotten so imbalanced with the way politics are, where it's gotten so lopsided where government isn't supposed to have control over you. They're not supposed to be just funneling money out of the system from taxpayers, lining their own pockets while people go jobless and they go hungry and they don't get the money they need to support themselves. And then also with factory farming. Like I feel like because of a leisure society, we've made it the ability possible for us to have things like factory farming. But then we don't have the standards and practice that all of that needs to make sure that these animals that are in factory farming are being treated correctly. That it's not just all focused on profits. All this fast food. Like, in what world should you be able to get a piece of cow, bread, lettuce, tomatoes, everything on a burger? Sometimes they'll even throw cheese and bacon on that shit for $1. Like, in what world is that profitable if you made that all from scratch with good ingredients? Not to mention the cost of rent for that McDonald's, pay for those employees, the system, everything just to cover costs. How are they making $1 burger profitable while using stuff that is healthy? Somewhere that whole chain has to become so tight, and they have to trim all the fat and probably all the ethics out of it to be able to make that system profitable. And you could be like, Evan, they always make their money on the soda because it's only 3 cents a cup. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just kidding. I'm sorry. But I feel like that's crazy. And it's because there was that, I forgot who it was, this farmer was talking about that when you get a burger from a fast food place, there's like over 40 different cows in one patty because it's just all so ground up and mixed up and everything that there's like no nutrients. So then you're getting food like that because the politicians are taking your money, so there's no jobs, and then people just have to do what they can do to survive. They're on a terrible diet. They're not feeling good. They're not feeling fulfilled. They're getting trapped up by student loan debt. And now they're eating all this terrible food. So now they're starting to have all these health complications. And then they get in the system of healthcare. And now they're taking all these pills. And then they're dealing with the side effects of the pills. And I just realized this sounds like the craziest conspiracy podcast. God damn it, Evan. But what I'm saying, the big picture of everything that I'm painting is I feel like this pandemic is a long time coming. I feel like when everything gets out of balance, when things start happening, especially with food and wet markets and other stuff in these other countries, but it happens here as well We do business with these other countries. We don't give them any consequences for their actions. We kind of look the other way. Look at our film industry with China, the way we just kind of cower to China because that's such a profitable market. But I feel like there's no free ride. You're going to pay for it now or you're going to pay for it later, and it's usually going to be later when things are so in motion that you just haven't dealt with that issue, and now you're going to suffer the consequences because it was good for a while and you were able to maintain. For a while, it was good. Movies were making money, people were getting healthcare, there wasn't no pandemic, but as soon as something bad happened, we kind of crumbled. The system didn't work when we actually needed it to work, All I'm saying is I feel like there's a lot to be learned about all that's happened. All that's happened with the pandemic. I think it's shown a lot about politicians. I think it's shown a lot about our food structure, businesses, what businesses people actually care about, what businesses the government cares about. Dude, there's so many businesses and small business owners that I know that are losing their business. And they were such important pieces to society. Food businesses, jiu-jitsu businesses, boxing gyms, regular gyms, people named Jim, Slim Jims. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, Kim and Kanye are getting divorced. Okay? I didn't want to end this on a bad note, but Kim and Kanye are getting divorced. I did go up and look up some of Kanye's work this morning to reminisce about the great Kanye West and his music. My Dark Twisted Fantasy, Late Registration, The College Dropout. Maybe I'll go look up some of Kim's work after this podcast. Stupid. But I was told this news last night, and I'll be honest with you. Kanye West needed this, okay? Listen, he ain't been right since he got with Kim, all right? And you could be like, Evan, this is so silly that you're even talking about this. What are you, a tabloid? Yes. Yes, I am. Any other questions? But the truth is, Kanye West is, in my opinion, the greatest, you might have Timbaland in there, beat maker of all time. When it comes to hip-hop tracks, listen, it's very hard. Listen, against Timbaland, I would put Kanye West against Timbaland. That is the styles are so different. Listen, my favorite beat of all time, Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott, a Timbaland beat. From the drums, listen, Timbaland does his thing. Some of the greatest sounds coming out of that man. But there's something about Kanye West and his samples. I love doing this. Listen, if you haven't done this, go look up all of Kanye West's samples online on YouTube. And you can listen to the songs that he pulled samples from and how he used them. Hear the original sample, and then you'll hear the song that he put them in. And that man is genius. He really is so prolific when it comes to music. And I would just love to see it. I'd be inspired by it. Just to hear what samples he took. And from taking that sample, he heard it, and he would start painting a picture of a completely different song with it. And then the way he would mix the sample and basically turn it into a new sound. It's insane. And it's like, you start seeing, it's just like when you leave that genius doesn't always transfer into other areas of life. It obviously doesn't transfer into politics, because when you start hearing about Kanye West's ideas in politics, you're like, well, it doesn't work within these parameters. But when you take that genius and you see him take like 4 or 5 samples and mix them into one song, and you hear the finished product, you're like, holy shit, I don't know how he got from A to Z. Magic happened in the middle of it, but it was goddamn beautiful. So that's the only thing I can hope, is that through this, Kanye West has some music for us. Some real shit. Okay? It's time to take the altar boy clothes off, Kanye. and get back to the lab. Get back to that studio. Okay? That's what I'm looking forward to. Eminem dropped some great music this year. Love it. Just killing the game. Consistency. That's what it's all about. And I got to end the episode praying for Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre had a brain aneurysm. He's supposed to be stable. I know he's conscious. I thought he was in a coma. Stress is a motherfucker. That's another reason. He's going through a divorce right now. Probably stress-related brain aneurysm. And praying for you, Dre. Because when it comes to significance, Dre might have the best drums in the game. Okay? I don't know. I'm sorry if this is not interesting to people who are not music heads, but Dre has the best drums in the game. And not only that, Dre has the best subtlety with layering different components of the drums. The way he layers out and fattens up his hi-hats and everything. Little compliments he adds on it. He'll have a hi-hat and they'll throw like kind of a stick hit on it just on the tail end. Maybe put like a 1/16 delay on it just to make that sound a little bit fatter. Ooh, it's beautiful. So yeah, 2021, we don't need to lose Dre, and we don't need this weird civil war that's coming on us. But I hope anybody listening to this, if you're dealing with shit, if you're stressed out, do some breathing, baby. Relax. I always run shit through the mill. Is this problem going to matter in 3 months? Is it going to matter in 6 months? Is it going to matter in 2 years? And you decide on that if it's something that you should spend that much time worrying about. In the big picture, is that shit getting you closer to your goals, or is it holding you back? Is focusing on it giving you rocket fuel, or is it draining it on shit you should be focusing on? Write down shit that you're trying to accomplish and things you're trying to do. And run shit through the mill. See if, is this hurting me? It's hurting me. All right, I need to find a way to get rid of this thought. And you can decompress it. You can think about it. But once that shit's done, baby, you don't fester. You don't dwell. You keep it moving, pimping. And remember, no matter what,